Hello, hello, and happy July. We are officially in July. What's up, everyone, and welcome to our workshop session. This is typically when we have our community office hours hosted by generally the two of us, I think, until it's always by you. You are always here, Gabe.
Hello.
But hello, I'm Trevor. I'm a member on the support team. We have Gabe. Gabe,
Yes.
What is your exact title?
That's a great question. I guess I'm like the community manager. Like we have like a social media person who manages the social media side of things, and then anything that's like a direct community space. So like Reddit, Facebook, Discord, those are all the places I work in. I'm also just like a support agent on my off time. And sometimes, and we'll see how much longer I do this, write the changelog. So well, the changelog writes itself. I help edit the changelog, I should say. And yeah, today's session is a little bit of a recap of some of the new features we were talking about last week. If you were at our live session, I'm wondering if anybody in the house today has pre-recorded video that they are looking to work alongside with us today. Because we will be showing some new features alongside some old features that combine well to get you a polished video from start to finish. Any other housekeeping we need to go over, Trevor?
Just that is the promise for today, that you can record something in one take. It can be as raw as it is, as unpolished as you record, just like ranting, as many filler words as you naturally come out, and you will get something fairly polished in a very short amount of time. And we can show you, and I think we will be pretty much editing a complete video as much as we can within this session. We'll be going a little bit slower than we would if we were just doing this heads down. But if you have something to work along with and do the same actions we're taking, that's excellent. And if you have questions, we'll likely get to them closer to the second half of this, but please feel free to ask them at any time and we can pin them and address them in order.
Very cool. And yeah, if you do come to the normal regular sessions that we do for community office hours, this is a little bit of a change of pace, just a little bit of patience from our regular folks who show up. A lot of times we will talk about roadmap items or just answer community questions, take feedback and process feedback from our community members. So if you enjoy yourself here, maybe come around next week. We do this every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific. So today's format will be a little bit different. Let's get into our demo section. I'm going to start with showing a finished project from our colleague Trevor.
Different Trevor.
Different Trevor. We call him Trev in-house. And then let's get this on screen. Cool. Here we are. This is Trevor's completed project. It's called Sharks Don't Want to Eat You. And that's true. Apparently, for the most part, sharks aren't really interested in munching on a person. Didn't know that, learning that from my beautiful colleague, Trevor. Let's take a listen and a look at what this project looks like in its nearly completed state here.
I surf in Northern California, and every time I mention that, at dinner, on a call, really whenever I talk about it, someone asks the same thing. Aren't there sharks? Aren't you worried? What are you, crazy? Yes, there are. And no, I'm not. Here's why. I'm originally from Amish country, Pennsylvania, about as far from the ocean as you can get. I picked up surfing about 6 years ago when I moved to California, and it's pretty quickly taken over my life. My home break is Ocean Beach. It's this long stretch of beach on the west side of San Francisco. Heavy waves, cold water, and fog. It's not very tropical. And when people hear that I surf there, they assume I'm surrounded by great white sharks every session. The reality is, there is only ever about 1 to 2 great whites cruising around Ocean Beach at any given time.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I know you're very intrigued now about this whole shark situation and why you shouldn't have to worry about them. But let's talk about how this video came to pass. So this is our colleague Trevor. He's one of our video editors here. He did this project as just like testing a set of features, and also wanted to share this information because he is a very passionate surfer. So he recorded a video in his apartment let's take a look at what we received when this video was first created. This is his unedited take. Here we go. So we can see that Trevor is in his apartment with a very closed eye expression, just talking into the camera. No background, nothing going on here. So I have some just notification pinging.
I even want to call out that the backlight is typically not what you want to have in your recording. You don't want to have light that's like an open window behind you.
Right. So he wasn't thinking about any of this when he started the recording. He was just like, I need to record a video about sharks. I'm in my house. Let her rip. So this would start with just you in a Descript project, or actually just on the home screen, hitting the record button here. So if you're just in the drive view, hit record camera, or if maybe you're doing like a screen demo or something like that, go right ahead and get started, and it will open this view here. If you have a script at the ready, you can paste it into our newfangled teleprompter and read directly along with your script. Once you're done, this will be uploading in the background. It'll import itself into a project. At that point, it will transcribe, and then you can get to work. There are several different options for recording. I'm not going to deep dive into them. I just want to show them off for you briefly. The types of recording are camera, screen. So this would be if you're doing like a talking head recording within like a screen demo of some kind. Audio only. This would be good if you're doing like a podcast with no video, or if you want to make a video podcast and just do all the visuals in Descript, you can do it this way. And then there's finally this record with others option. This is if you're doing a multi-speaker podcast or any sort of multi-speaker remote recording. You'll get into our system called Rooms here and get to work recording with your buddies. I'll just show it very, very briefly. You would have your guests in here and record live over the internet. It's magical, really cool stuff. Let's go back to Descript in the editor. Here we go. Cool. So let's go back to Trevor's project that we were just looking at.
Every time you say Trevor's project, I just glance over. I'm like, my project?
I'm so sorry. Maybe we can call him Trev Man or the Shark Guy?
The Shark Guy.
The Shark Guy. There we go.
Surfer Dude 101.
Surfer Dude 101. Cool. So let's take a look at his unfinished take here. So the first thing you'll see, basically anytime you open a recording like this, is that the person reading the script or speaking extemporaneously is probably going to repeat themselves a few times. So as a first step, one of the things I tend to run, we won't go into super deep detail because it's been around for a while, the remove retakes option. So running this is a great option if you have a script like this. I'm going to just go ahead and submit. While we're waiting, we'll show some other ways that you can edit this as well. There are some ums and stutters and uhs. We'll take a look at removing filler words. That's kind of the bread and butter of Descript. I'm sure a lot of you folks already know everything to know about that, but we'll still take a look. Cool. Let's see. I am happy, I think, with all of these retake submissions. So I'm just going to go ahead and accept them. And then let's do so that we can match what he was doing. Let's see if we can. Yeah, let's go ahead and accept all these. Great. Cool. So we just took off a pretty serious amount of content. We went, I believe, from about 9 minutes down to 8.5, just removing those retakes. Always a great first step. Taking a look also, you probably would like to do a filler word removal pass. So he's got all these ums and stutters and stuff. We can get rid of those very quickly as well. Go ahead and do that. I'm just going to have it find all the filler words. And you actually have a list that you can pull down of what those filler words are. If you feel like, it's just something I say and it actually enhances my sentences, just uncheck it. You don't need it. And so we got about 24 different filler words tagged here. We won't go through all of them. I'm just going to briefly show that there's this avoid harsh cuts option. This will make it so that any cuts that would possibly cut into an adjacent word are skipped. So you can see as I toggle this, we change the number of filler words being detected from 39 to 24. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of these. If you're doing a deep dive edit, you might want to go ahead and preview some of these, make sure that you are happy with how they all sound. I'm going to, for demo purposes, just go ahead and remove them from the project right now. Cool. The next thing you might be wondering about is, okay, I've made all these cuts. Are any of them like sloppy, weird looking? They might be. It happens. Jump cuts are one of those things that can be considered a style in a lot of YouTube videos, but I think you should still use them judiciously. So let's take a look at a few of the cuts that we have and see if any of them need addressing.
Every time I mention that, at dinner, on a call, really whenever I talk about
Let's watch that one more time.
on a call, really whenever I talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the worst jump cut I've ever seen. Let's see if we've got one that's messier.
Pennsylvania. About as far.
That one's a little messy. Maybe we'll go with that one.
And it's pretty quick.
That's a pretty stylistic but I'm going to delete it and see if this makes a jump cut.
California. And it's
yeah, so that's a nice messy jump cut, especially because the same word appears on both sides. So let's go ahead and delete that. And so you can see that Descript is automatically highlighting the space between these cuts. You see this 3-line bar here? That is signaling that there is a cut here, and that if we would like, we might be able to regenerate this cut. You have an option for audio and video. If you only want to replace the video or only want to replace the audio, that's an option for sure. But it tends to look the best when you go with audio and video. So let's take a quick look at this. So it automatically detected that I'm talking about this either side of that cut. Great. And let's see how this processed once it's ready to play.
Yeah.
1 second.
Just as I did see a question come in just while this generates. The question was, is this available after the session? Yes. This webinar, as well as the session from last week that led into this one, are both available on the YouTube page. I believe we shared a link for it, and you could just visit back to this link after the session. If you have to leave, you can always come back and pick up where you left off.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have these sessions every week. They are recorded. You can find them on our YouTube channel every single week. And there's tons of other tutorial content and webinars, live streams, all that good stuff. We're still waiting for this one to generate, I think. See if I make sure that I have my speaker assigned and that the labels are correct. Yes, let's go ahead and just make sure that there's only the one speaker because there's a couple changes here. Cool. Okay.
California, and it's pretty quickly taken over my life.
Yep, still generating that one. Let's try this one, and just sometimes different cuts take different amounts of time to get to work. So we'll go ahead and start another one. If not, we'll come back in a few minutes or seconds when these complete. Another thing you probably want to address in your video when you're doing this kind of work is just the overall sound quality. And we have a number of tools to help you address that. So taking a listen to this, it actually doesn't sound that bad.
Someone asks the same thing. Aren't there sharks? Aren't you worried? What are you, crazy?
And to me, that is not bad sounding at all. However, I do think I can hear a little bit of Trevor's room, the Shark Man, excuse me, the Shark Man's room. I can hear kind of the echo, the reverberation. You might actually even be able to hear a little bit of that in my audio today. But I'm going to try applying some studio sound. This is our audio effect cleanup suite, mostly designed to resolve a echo within a location or extra noise, hissing, things like that. So let's take a listen. I just put it on, and let's just take a listen to that same package.
Same thing.
Passage.
Aren't there sharks? Aren't you worried? What are you, crazy?
So I think that does a nice job of like getting rid of that room tone, that echo. If you want to dive deeper, we do have regular audio effects, EQ, compression, things along those lines. If you're well versed in those are a great place to start, or all of them come with presets. So it's hard to go wrong if you've got a talking head speaker with a little bit of classic voiceover on your compressor. Just saying, it's not the highlight of our package today, but just wanted to give a quick shout out to that. Let's see. I'm not sure what's the holdup here.
Maybe try refreshing the project.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So how did you do that, just for those?
I hit the refresh button on my browser. The other thing you could do is hit Command R. That'll refresh the browser as well. And that refreshes the project. If you ever see the like Descript has an update ready to go, that's what's happening. Is when you hit refresh, it installs the update for you. Cool. While this is still going, I think that there's a good chance I might have to try this again in a second. Let's go ahead and fix something that almost every video that is a talking head reading a script into a webcam has. This problem is eye contact. So you can see right now, looking at this video, the shark man here is looking just below the camera because he doesn't own a professional teleprompter. I don't own a professional teleprompter. So we have a tool called eye contact, which will pull Trevor's eyes to the camera here. So let's go ahead and add that. Here you go. It's in the visual effects bin. I'm in the properties panel on the sidebar. Anytime you have a video selected, even if the timeline isn't open, if you go into the properties panel, you should be able to see the effects that are being applied. You can also add effects from the button here in the scene editor. This section here is what we call the scene editor. Here we go. Eye contact. Applied. Cool. And let's just do a quick before and after. Really subtle, right? And it's just giving you that little bit of extra engagement. Let's see it in motion.
My home break is Ocean Beach. It's this long stretch of beach on the west side of San Francisco. Heavy waves, cold water, and fog.
I think everybody's main worry with something like eye contact is that it does that it might be unpleasant to look at or uncanny. I think this looks completely natural. I would not notice myself that a file or project had this applied. Let's see. There we go. Accidentally deleted it. Cool. Yeah, just was trying to clean up the script there a little bit. Cool. Another thing I'm noticing here, and Trevor mentioned this, our Trevor, the Trevor that's in the room with us now, yes, presenting with us.
Nice.
That the lighting here is not ideal. So the speaker here, the shark expert, he is standing in front of a sunlit window, which is going to light behind him, but not his face, the thing that we all want to be looking at when we're watching any sort of video. So I'm going to go ahead and apply what we call uplighting. Here we go. Let's see here. There we go. So this is basically, it gives you control of the differences between the foreground and the background in terms of brightness. So right now it's at 100% strength, which is maybe a little bit strong. And let's go ahead and just keep playing around with these just so you can see what they actually do. So I can make it almost so that his background is completely occluded. And then I can actually turn him into a shadow man. We don't want to do that though. We want him to be nice and lit like so. Here we go. Wonderful. Okay. I'm going to leave it like this because ultimately this background behind him, it's going to go away. So we don't actually need it. We also have portrait lighting is a very similar effect here. So, but these effects can stack. So if you need like extra layering of these effects, it can be very helpful.
Just a quick question. Someone was asking how you get that header above that image when you're adjusting the image over the canvas or the scene editor, we call it. Can you show how to get that toolbar?
Yeah, for sure. All you have to do is click the scene editor here. This used to be called the canvas. Internally, we sometimes debate whether we have given it the correct title. Right now, it's called the scene editor because it interacts with these different sections of your project called scenes here. So if we see, I can basically add scenes, and then each different scene can have different elements and layouts that apply. Cool. Let's see here. Cool. We did get one of our regenerates back. Sometimes these AI features, because they are server-based, they can run a little bit slowly. Usually they just complete. So you just go away for a bit and it'll be done when you get back. Let's go ahead and listen to that since it's done.
I picked up surfing like about 6 years ago when I moved to California, and it's pretty quickly taken over my life.
Okay, so I will note that there's one issue here, which is that I had not applied studio sound yet when I did this regeneration. So it regenerated it using the quality of the original audio. That is not a hard fix. However, I believe all we have to do is add studio sound to that section and we should be good to go. But for now, let's go ahead and skip it. We don't need to review studio sound yet again. Cool. So we've done eye contact, uplighting. We've gotten Trevor looking quite a bit better for his camera presentation. We've shown that you can clean up a jump cut very nicely. I really, the actual script here is driving me a little insane. So I'm just going to convert that to audio so I can get rid of that comma. There we go. Perfect. And we've shown that you can regenerate passages to cover up any jump cuts. If you do have jump cuts that you're unsatisfied with, the other thing you can do, obviously, is get some B-roll or stock footage to place over that section to cover up that jump cut. In the near future, also, we will have a skin smoothing effect. So if you're familiar with like beautification effects in things like Zoom, those are coming and they will be in here in the very near future. So just keep an eye out for that. Cool. Before I move on, any other questions to address?
We definitely have a bunch that are coming through, but I do think we're going to get a good amount of these answered.
Great.
I think one that was asked was just about the teleprompter because we were talking about it a little bit briefly.
Sure.
Do you mind just demoing that super quickly before we shift over?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go into a blank composition, hit record here. I just copied the script from the Sharkman's video, and I'm going to paste it into the teleprompter here. You can ignore these dots. They're kind of like stuff that's embedded in the script for Descript information.
Oh, I don't know if we see the teleprompter from the share screen.
Oh,
that's probably what
that's
the question was about.
Why? How do I switch? It's not a tab is the problem. I'm going to switch briefly to a different style of screen share. Give me 1 second.
And for anyone that does have a question, feel free to just ask it. We're getting through the bulk of our short demo, and we'll have more of a workshop with questions that we can kind of cover as we go through things. So there's never a wrong or right time to ask questions. Just put it in there, we'll flag it, and we'll address them as we can.
So here you go. Here's the teleprompter. You have different settings here for playback speed and text size. And then when you can either just play it and practice, but actually when you hit play, it starts the recording. And then you would just read through the script. It's not detecting what you're saying. So you may have to manually do some scrolling or changing here. If you're having issues, you can just change the scroll speed and you should be good to go. Yeah, I find it. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. A specific question that someone was bringing up is about a speed control.
Yeah.
So how do you change the speed and how are you manually changing the speed?
This slider right here, do you see this moving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you able to manually scroll it as well on there?
Yes, but not while it's playing, as far as I understand. I think, let me see. You can, yeah, so you can just go, yeah, if you hit this reset button, it stops the live playback. And then if you scroll down, let's see what happens here. Yeah, you just resume from wherever you like. So if you're having issues, hitting pause here will not stop the recording. You can just hit pause, go to where you need to, hit play again, adjust the speed, whatever you need to do. Does that make sense?
I think, yeah, there was one request to have more increments of speed because it goes from 0.5 to 1.0. I think that's a limitation right now for the speed.
For sure.
It goes in those increments, but a great
Sort of
feature
like
request.
Some more gradients here. That makes sense. Understood. There's also a mirror. So if you have a real teleprompter, you can mirror your text so that it applies correctly. And you can also just import your script directly into the teleprompter if you are working with one. There's a light and dark mode. Cool. I think that's enough on teleprompter. Not really.
Yeah. Where is the button?
Where's the teleprompter button?
Yeah,
right next to
right there.
the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right next to the record.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to find. Just if you don't know what something is, just hover your mouse over it. Tooltip will tell you. Tooltip will tell you. Okay, cool. Let me switch back to, we just for audio reasons need to use tab sharing.
I meant to pin a question and I just highlighted it. Sorry.
It's okay. Cool. Going back in. All right, so we have done, I'm going to skip a couple things that in the outline and actually move them around because they're going to work better at this stage. Okay, going back to the Sharkman's project here, we've got him nice and lit. I think, yeah, now looking at it again, this is maybe a little bit absurd. There we go. That's better. I actually really love the glow behind his hair, though. I think I'm going to keep that. Cool. Let's talk about getting rid of this guy's background. I don't like it. So in the main video, you may have seen that he's got all this kind of B-roll that's working as his background. So let's go ahead and get that going as well. Cool. So he's got this, I'm going to use the same 3D shark attack video. Here we go. Let's place it somewhere in the project. And I'm going to go into the stock library and just find it for myself. There we go. It's one of these guys. Let's go with this one. I'm going to go ahead and put it into the video, drag it and just drop it where I'd like. Cool. I guess I ended up dragging it into both spots. That's cool, though. I think it's a good video. Let's go ahead. And then we're going to add green screen from the AI tools sidebar. And then we just need to resort these layers. And then we're going to bring this guy to the front. Cool. So now Trevor is placed beautifully over the shark footage in just a couple of clicks. I'll just do, because that was kind of quick, I'll do it one more time. Steps here, add whatever you want your background to be. In this case, it's our shark attack video. I don't think anybody's actually being attacked. Add your green screen effect to your main track, which will be the script track here in the timeline. Move it to the front so that it's the front video that you have. Add the visual effect of green screen, and then voila, he will be placed in front of it. Cool. We are making excellent progress here as we go through these features. One cool new feature, if you have any static visual elements, and maybe let's add one to the second scene here. And let's go ahead and take Trevor and let's make him a little smaller. Put him down here. And then let's go ahead and get a static image from our stock media library.
So I did see some questions about how to add a background, how to add green screen. This should address that whole collection of questions about adding backgrounds to a video, removing other Trevor's background, and sort of superimposing him on there.
Yes. So let's see here. I don't love any of these, but actually this one's pretty cool. Let's go human shark. Do we have like a human shark? Shark with sword. I don't know. I'm looking for something. Fish. Let's just get a fish in here. Something that will be relatively easy to edit. Okay, cool. I've got a static image of a fish that I'm going to place in this project. We're going to show you how you can transform visual elements using Inpainting. Really, really cool feature. I'm going to go ahead and just get this into the project in a way that makes some sense. And of course, I brought it in 7 times because I got so excited. So let's go ahead and make this the full, and then change the layer order, send it backward. There we go. And then let's get him, I believe we just need to add green screen to this scene. There we go. Let's get the green screen back. So these effects can be applied per scene or to the entire project. You see this option here, current scene or all scenes. I'm going to save myself some headaches here by applying this to all scenes. So Trevor will always appear in front of whatever this content is. Cool. So if I want to edit this image with AI, I can click this Edit with AI button, and then I get this nice little interface here. I have a couple different options now that have popped up. I can draw over a section. I can turn this into a video. There's an erase button and a reset, or I could just type in a prompt. Trevor, Trevor, not Shark Trevor, what do you want me to do?
Do you think we could add more fishies in here?
Yeah, I think we could. Let's add more fishies. It's just...
Or maybe like a snack or coral or something?
Well, you already said fishies. Okay.
Well, it doesn't mean we haven't entered it yet.
Add more fishies and a delicious snack for this main fish on the right to eat.
I appreciate you typing fishies.
Yes. Well, you have to. Okay, cool. I'm satisfied. Nano Banana 2, we tend to pick this as our default image generator because it's really good and like median price wise. Image GPT 2 is great. Nano Banana Pro also great. This is just a little bit less costly. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Got to save those credits. So you see it's highlighting the whole video and then just taking a beat to do this edit for me. And then I do have this fish throughout the project. I don't need it throughout the project, but that doesn't affect the overall cost. It's doing one static change. In the future, we do have plans to add video Inpainting. So hopefully you'll be able to combine Inpainting and turning things into video in the near future. Cool, this is cooking. Let's let it cook. While I talk about just sort of other generative media that you can add. So if you go to the AI Tools sidebar, again, there's this generate media option. You can generate images or video. And I believe these are some images that the Sharkman made for us before handing the project off. So we can take a look. The prompt here was, let's see, a shark whisperer or tamer. And yeah, pretty basic, good image, looks pretty realistic to me.
On the topic of generating image, we did have a question about this. Can I raise it to?
Of course you can.
To the
wait, hold on. You can raise it, but first I'd like to point out that our thing has finished, and we have we have more fishies,
yes.
And we have a nice little snack for our fishy.
What a nice, tasty treat.
Cool.
The question is it possible to get a still photo with a person and create a video of them to match? I only record an audio, so it would be superimposed.
Yeah, I think, so you're kind of describing what we would call avatars here. You can definitely do that. So you do need the right to copy that person's likeness. Like you couldn't do it with, you just pick a random celebrity and do it. Hopefully it's your face, stuff like that. Let's grab one of Trevor's recordings here. Oh, there we go, in the takes folder. Push this here. So this is just the blank recording. Let's get a good frame of Trevor where he looks like a real hero. There we go.
I like that one, yeah.
That's a really good one. And to be kind to our pal and coworker here, I'm going to go ahead and make him look really nice too. We'll see Uplighting one more time, which is exciting. There we go. Perfect. He's looking beautiful. So I think earlier I got too excited and used Uplighting when I should have used portrait lighting. Let's correct our mistake. Uplighting is probably better for non-human images. Here we go. But they work very similarly. The effect basically does the same thing. It's just a little bit cleaner when you use portrait lighting on a human face. Cool.
This is like auto masking, essentially.
Exactly. Cool. Let's get a still frame of our buddy here. If we just click this layers button down here and then save current frame to project files. Great. And then what we're talking about here, so there's different ways to do this, right? So if you just wanted to generate a video of yourself doing something, you just go into AI tools, gen media, and then add a start frame and end frame for the picture that you're trying to animate. Or in the project itself, you can edit with AI, extend video, stuff like that. Sorry, I lost my frame of reference. Oh yes, avatar. So if we want to turn Trevor into an avatar, we're going to assign an avatar to him. This is his speaker label. This is the speaker labels menu. If you're in a project with multiple speakers, every time the speaker changed, you would have a different label here. So this would be speaker 3. In this case, it's just the Shark Man all the way through. Cool. Let's assign an avatar, and then I'm going to go with create custom avatar. And I believe actually I need to, and you see here I was saying, hey, do you have consent to use this image? I do. Trevor's my buddy. Let's grab the still frame that we got of the fella.
I'm also your buddy, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Correct. Saved frame. So here are my saved frames. That one looks good to me. I'm going to download it so it's easy to find. Great. Hit the old save there. All right, back to assigning the avatar, creating a custom, attaching. I could have used project files, but I got too worried about things. Let's use project files. Where's our face? Uh-oh, spoilers.
Spoiler alert. I was about to say, what are those?
You don't need to know. They're YouTube thumbnails. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to say keep this as realistic as possible. So in the prompt, you could say like, hey, I want this person to be scowling or whatever. I'm going to go with just keep it realistic. I'm going to use Nano Banana Pro to create the avatar. Here we go. This is kind of a slow process, so we're probably not going to demo it start to finish. The other thing to note about it is that it uses a ton of AI credits. Animating a still image from scratch is just, at this point in time, something that uses a ton of CPU and unfortunately costs a lot. So I would say if you're planning on making this style of video where you replace your own face with an avatar, try and keep your video length short. Otherwise, you'll probably burn most of your credits very, very quickly. So this is taking a bit. I'm going to go ahead and just jump out because this is just a conceptual thing. So this is our avatar now. So if I wanted to replace any sections of the video with AI speech, this avatar would get animated. That's cool that it got brighter somehow. That's nice. I like that. Cool. Awesome. I didn't need to spend too much time there. Let's see. Okay, we've done green screen, inpainting, generative media. Now is a great time to pop back into the original finished clip. So if we were doing all of these things step by step, we would eventually get to the point where we've cleaned up the project, added all of our scenes, added all of our B-roll, gotten to this place where we have these transitions and animations, which we'll take a look at towards the end as well. And we just want to overall polish the color profile of our final image. I'm going to go into color adjustments. These color adjustments are at a scene level. You can also find color adjustments at every level of the layers. So I'm just working on Trevor's face now with my color adjustments. We have these presets. If you want to get super fancy with it, you absolutely can, and get your own saturation sliders going. Ooh, I like red Trevor. That's fun. But we're going to go with blue to contrast here. But yeah, you don't need to do anything crazy. I'd probably suggest using a preset for the most part. Cool. The other thing to know is we have added gradient options to our image layers here. So let's see if we add a circle element to show this very briefly. If you're doing things with logos or building your own layouts, this can be very useful. we change the color here, we now have a gradient option, and we can do kind of like a gradient fill to help build our logos or background them, things along those lines. So one cool thing I could do here is add some text over this, and I could start to build like a channel personality for Trevor to use.
Can you also do this on text and caption layers?
Yeah, I think so. Let's take a look. Yes, you can.
Ooh.
Voila. Very nice. So now we've got a gradient actually applied to the word highlight on our captions, which is cool.
What are you, crazy?
Yeah, I'm crazy. I added a gradient, Trevor. What are you going to do about it? Not you. Cool. Let's see what else we have in the bag to get through this. So we have like tons and tons of stock footage in this. We've added a lot of it. What you're going to want at a certain point is to add some transitions between these different sections of your project. So let's take a look at how that works. So here we see we're transitioning between two different styles of B-roll. And then we're also transitioning Trevor's camera size. So he's going to become smaller as we move scenes here.
Aren't there sharks? Aren't you worried?
There are sharks. I am worried, Trevor. Thank you. So you can see here that he shrinks and then the overall layout changes. Why is that happening? Because in the properties panel for the scene, you can see that we've added a smart transition. Smart transitions are like our proprietary transition style. They basically analyze all of the layers within one scene and make decisions about how to transition that layer into the next scene. So if there are caption layers or things along those lines, sometimes you don't necessarily want like a fade out there.
Aren't there sharks?
So you can see smart transitions here. It picked shrink image instead of anything else that might be destructive for our transition.
There are sharks?
And
what
then,
would it look like if you remove the smart transition?
let's take it out. None smart transition.
There are sharks?
Yeah, so he just snaps
Aren't there
into
sharks?
tiny mode if you do it that way, which I
Aren't
like.
there
That's kind of
sharks?
fun. Like I would be like, oh, that's intriguing. Why did he leave it like that? But if you want to look professional, maybe you want to do something like a clock wipe. I don't know. Let's take a look at how that works.
Aren't there sharks?
Yeah, that's not a great fit for this because of the shrinking. What would
I feel like the shrinking works with a
It's-
shark kind of following a prey.
Yeah, it's kind of
coming
the
in.
only one that really, really works here. Let's see though. Let's see a crossfade.
Aren't there sharks?
Yeah, so I would say smart transition, obviously the winner of the set of these options, but the other options exist. So if you were, let's say this next scene had a completely different layout, let's try one of these pre-built ones just for argument's sake. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is like a B-roll overlay layout that we just added. We haven't talked a ton about this, but we do have a bunch of pre-built layout packs that are very nice, polished, and clean. But you can also find these additional ones in the gallery here. And then if you'd like, you can make your own layout packs, either starting from one of our template layout packs or starting from scratch.
And I see there was a question about how to create an intro and an outro. And I saw intro and outro on those layout packs. Is that what you would recommend to create an intro and outro for this?
For sure. I mean, it depends on how you would like your intro to look. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hit the slash button. This will add a scene at the top of the project. And it's blank right now. So let's say we want an intro. I'm just going to go with this default intro layout here. Cool. Great. And you're going to see something happen in the next few seconds, which is that it's going to read the script and go, what's the script about? And then fill it in for us. So you can turn that off. It's a setting. If you don't like the idea of having AI analyze your script and fill this in for you, or if you have a title in mind, etc., you don't have to use this, but it's a nice, I find this is still better and safer to use as my starting point. So something to think about. We're getting really close to the end because we basically have a nearly shippable project, aside from the random stuff I added just to show you how it works. One last just view on this transition situation, because I do want to show moving from one layout to another. Let's go with a split transition here. So here's how it works if you're going from one to the
sharks.
next. So
Are you worried?
yeah.
They're sharks. Are you worried?
So yeah, you can get really dynamic with this stuff and have a lot of fun with it. Or if you're like, I just like that split transition, you can go ahead and just apply that across the board with this apply to all option.
And that was a question that we got in is there a way to apply it to the entire project without using Underlord? This apply to all is a fairly new addition to transitions.
Fairly new within the last 2 months. So you might not have seen it. Now, these are all split transitions, completely ruining my project, but it would probably make yours look great because that's what you want. Cool. So we talked about transitions, layout packs briefly. We did swing back into gradients and color correction. Let's talk about shipping this project, getting it out the door. So a lot of people probably want YouTube thumbnails and they don't have a graphic designer that they work with. I know I find myself in that boat sometimes. You can see here in AI tools, generate YouTube thumbnail. It's even marked new. And then, so you've got all this stuff here, thumbnail title, thumbnail style. And you can see we've got some kind of like pre-baked ones for you to choose from. Or if you have like a custom style, one that you'd like to steal from a colleague or something like that, not really, but just, use the same style that they're using, find a way to create something similar. You can upload your own. I'm going to go with this one that kind of looks like Dark Souls because I'm a big Dark Souls guy. So it's asking me like any details I want to attach. And you can see like some pre-made ones here that Trevor made already. I'm going to go for something slightly different. Have a big shark take a juicy bite of Trevor's shoulder and have him with a funny face as the shark bites him. Okay, not going to have too much fun. Cinematic we chose. Let's go ahead and click generate. Here we go. And I believe this will just use your default image generator. Do you know offhand, Trevor, which model this jumps into?
Ooh, offhand, no. I could definitely take a look and try and get that answer before we end the session, but
okay. It doesn't want me to have the shark bite Trevor. It's not happy with that. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Have a big shark. Giving Trevor a birthday present. There we go. Hit the generate on that. While this is cooking, we can talk about some other things you might want to do before you get this out the door. If you are polishing your script, you can go through and do corrections. If you click any word that might be mistranscribed or is very specific, you can use this text correction here and change it to, let's say this was decades instead of years, or maybe it was beers instead of years. You could correct that in the script without changing the audio. It's always good to do a script pass, especially if you're going to do an export of your transcript or subtitles. Taking a look at the export window here, we have a bunch of different options. You can create a Descript web link. This enables all of these other locations that you can export to, including YouTube, or you can just do a direct local export. The benefit of a direct local export is you have more options for your settings. When you use this option, the web link option, it will default to a number of just, baseline high quality settings, essentially. Cool. Let's see. We got a couple results back. And I didn't give it Trevor's picture. So this would be, if I had said, hey, use Trevor's picture here, then we would have Trevor here. But this is good enough for me. I'm happy with this. This is a very funny, funny image. Sharks, I can't tell who is giving or getting the present, but I do love the little bow tie. I think that's a great, great touch.
That is a great touch. And I did get an update. The default model for this is Nano Banana 2.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, Nano Banana 2 is really, really good at its job. It's good with text in general, I would say, which is one of the things that
Yes.
AI used to struggle with. Maybe now we're bending the curve there. Okay, we're almost done. Let's look at the last AI tool I had in my bag of tricks for you. So let's say you want to get some social content out and you don't have a lot of time. You can repurpose. So this section here is all about taking your content and reusing it in multiple places. So create clips, create highlight reel, find highlights, and translate are the options. We're going to talk mostly about create clips, which is the best way to get some nice, quick social media hits out of your long form content. So I click create clips. It's going to ask me how many clips I want. I'm going to go with 3. And I'm going to say I want these to be 25 seconds, actually, because maybe I want to edit these together into something. And then there's all these different social clip layouts I can choose from, or I can choose something completely different. I could do vertical, or I could do a horizontal layout if I preferred. And then I can pick a topic if I want these to be about a certain thing. I'm going to go ahead and say, give me just clips about sharks specifically. So the whole thing is about sharks, but not every word or sentence is about sharks. So I'm going to see if it can just get me some nice clips that are mentioning sharks, since those will be the most marketable. And we're getting close to the Q&A section. So if you have any last minute questions, get them in and we'll start working on them very, very soon. Cool. So I've got my 3 clips here. I'm not going to review them right now, but this is we've got these kind of previews that you can see for each of the clips. And yeah, there's our Trevor, intrepid Trevor. I won't play all of these back, but let's see. Here's just a quick preview of one of them.
Ocean Beach sits right in the middle of what's called the Red Triangle. If we look on a map, it's like the stretch of coast from Monterey Bay up to Bolinas, and then out to the Farallon Islands.
Really cool. For social clips, sometimes you might want to just kick the speed up in advance. Go to the properties panel, click the main content of the video. Let's go ahead and unlock it. Get our Trevor man. In trouble. Why can't I click you there? So I can't click. There we go. And then we could up the speed here so that Trevor speaks a little bit faster. Can be helpful for some of that social long form content. Cool. So that's shipping. Once you're done with these clips, you could export them. You can also export all of your compositions at the same time. So if you wanted to just be like, okay, here's everything I made, bam, 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 it'll send them all out at once. Awesome. Are we feeling good about moving into Q&A? Did I miss anything?
I think so. That looks good. And we definitely have no shortage of questions here. We'll try and answer as many as we can. This one, I feel like, is a pretty short answer, and it's at the top here. Mm-hmm. What is the easiest way to get a video from your phone into your Descript account? So if you didn't record on your computer, or maybe you're using your phone as a webcam, it's an option.
Yes. Do you know, Trevor, because we had a mobile upload button in the not too distant past. Did we just turn that off recently?
We did, yes.
Okay, got it. So we had a upload from mobile. I guess it must have been running into some bugs. You could simply transfer those to a Google Drive or iCloud and then bring them into your computer. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Some phones support, of course, plugging them in as if they're a hard drive. Any other thoughts there, Trevor?
Yeah, what I usually do is I like have everything auto upload to Google Photos and then download them from there. There's also you could probably do something with the API and MCP.
Yes.
was just suggested internally here as an option.
We can't go into huge detail about this, but we do have what's called the Descript MCP/API. Essentially, this is a way to control Descript from outside of the app using API tokens. MCPs connect to chat services, LLMs like Claude, ChatGPT, Cursor, etc. And then what they do is allow you to prompt and create projects and do basically anything you can do in Descript just by typing prompts into one of these chat bots. I do this all the time with Claude, where I will, and maybe I can just show it since we're on no shortage of time, or we can just go long, don't care.
People are recommending Dropbox as an option.
Dropbox is a
Google
great
Drive,
option.
iCloud.
Yeah, I'll just show you my full screen real quick so you can see my Claude here. And then let's just quickly make a new task. Create a Descript project using these files from my Google Drive. And then it'll just kind of prompt me and be like, hey, where do I find those files, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another way to do it if you are not excited about interacting with Dropbox or Google Drive.
More on that next week. We have there's a webinar session next Thursday, the 9th at noon Pacific time, specifically about creating videos from ChatGPT and Claude.
Right. Be fantastic. If you're a community member on the Discord, I do keep an events calendar. I believe I just need to update it for July. And you'll see that and be notified when it occurs. Cool. What else we got?
Yeah. I think we could probably take a few more questions here,
Fantastic.
Correct?
Yeah.
Think so? Yeah. Let me see what we can answer here. This is sort of more about the layout that you have right here. So you have the text, the video side by side with the timeline below. Do you want to cover the view options?
For sure. So let's see. For one, there is just like sizers on each of these elements. So if you need a big timeline, you need a big canvas, you can do that. And I believe, so there's the properties panel here. This also is shrinkable and dismissible. If you go to view, there are a bunch of different things you can do. You can hide your script if you just want to work on the video itself. There are like these edit boundaries that we talked about earlier are optional. Filler words being underlined, et cetera, et cetera. Full screen video is another way to get to the same view. And then, yeah, just these different panels that you can get to. We also have different layout or appearance options. So you might notice that Descript by default has this barely red tint. Maybe you don't like that. You just go to classic, get rid of that. Light mode, dark mode, that sort of thing. Cool.
Awesome. Here's a good question. This is, we have a great answer for it. I got too reliant on Underlord to edit and blew through my AI credits. Oh no.
Yeah.
How do I gauge how many credits I have available at any given time?
Cool. Let's see. Am I sharing the right screen still? Okay, great. I am. Just double checked. Okay, if you want to view your credits, I have to go to a different drive briefly. One that is metered. Here's me. Let's get our view back to more of a default. I was doing some, 70s stuff in the background here. Okay, so go to your settings and then go to this setting here, which is advanced general. Always show usage info. This will show you in real time what things are costing. Everything is labeled with kind of a general value of how much it costs to process using. So you see these Claude models here. These are some of the more expensive ones. Haiku is one of the cheaper ones. Our suggestion usually is to use auto, and what it'll do is we'll just pick the best model for whatever task you've given us. And then you can monitor your credit usage like per step at that point. And so you can see like exactly what was used when. You can see a lot of mine came from editing through the MCP. You can see where I'm debited for media uploads, et cetera, et cetera. So It's hard to estimate cost for processing in advance, unfortunately. So you will usually have to wait for the result in order to know how much it costs. We are always very keen and motivated to help you in these situations. So please reach out if you're like, geez, I feel like I burned through my credits in a way that felt unfair. Let us know. We don't want that. So we'll try and help.
That's a good segue into closing this out, because we did have a few questions about how to get in touch with a member of the support team or someone that can help with a project directly. Can you demo how to do that?
For sure. Well, if I could give you my cell phone number, or you can click this button in the upper right-hand corner. It's the question mark symbol. Click contact support because of the way. Okay, cool. It is on.
Oh, nice. It is showing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sharing my full screen. Dangerous. Cool. So you can, for one, just be like, how do I apply studio sound? And ask this bot and see what happens. The other option, because probably your question is a little bit more complicated, you'll probably just want to type human into this box here. And that'll get you straight to our chat support team. They work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sometimes that team is me. So you'll see.
Or me.
Or Trevor, yes. We're both in the live chat occasionally. So when you hit human, it's going to prompt you to say like, hey, can you please at least like describe what's going on and maybe give us a link to your project? You can grab that project link up here using the plus button. And then, well, of course, I'm losing Descript. There it is. Cool. So you'd put in your inquiry, your project link. Whoopsie, that's something else. It's not my project link. Let's do that again. Why not? And we'll wrap up in a few minutes here. If you're like, oh, this was supposed to go till 4. I don't care. I'm just going to keep rolling. Let's go into the chat window. Here we go. Here's my project link. Help me. This is fake.
We can ask whoever we get to give a sign off, give a transition.
Yes. Live chat. Okay. So when I type human, I get this prompt. I put in my information. And then I get the option of doing an email or a live chat. I'm going to go with live chat. And then hopefully we'll get connected to an agent basically right away. Oh, I'm one in line. So there's one person ahead of me. If we don't get to this, it's totally fine. Cool. If you are somebody who has LinkedIn, we also have a LinkedIn skills setting. So you can just connect your LinkedIn account and we will basically tell LinkedIn how good at Descript you are just based on your usage. So I qualify as an advanced user. I use Descript every day. So I get that little nice marker on my LinkedIn profile. A cool thing to have. Cool. Sorry, let's go back to Sal. I don't want to leave Sal hanging, our intrepid Descript support agent. How do we wrap up this live stream?
I can't wait to hear what for those who don't know, Salvatore is also on our Tuesday support Q&A sessions here on YouTube.
He knows it's me, so he's probably taking a break. Just like, cool. Well, that's our session. We showed you a bunch of different ways. Oh, here we go.
Hold on.
Hold on, Sal. Let us know.
While this happens, I want to share this. Descript is peak. I think that's good, right?
That's good. Descript is peak. Should we generate a video? Cool. All right. I'm going to just close the chat out. Awesome. Love Sal. He's great. He is on our Tuesday live stream as well. If you, the support live stream is basically for like actual product issues. If you want to.
There is one question that we got a few times and I just want to make sure we handle it. How do you add music to a project?
Oh, how do you add music, eh? Well, if you have a music file, you could just bring it in through the project files edition section here. Or you could go to your media library if you already have some stuff put in, like if you have favorite stock music you use. Finally, you could just go to the stock section in the media sidebar here, click the little music icon, and then let's go the coolest song. Let's just see what the coolest song is. Get Up and Go. I'm not sharing audio. We'll have
The
this.
coolest song.
This will be our play us out tune.
Okay, very good.
Let me just switch so you can actually hear it. Here we go. The coolest song, according to our stock media library, called Get Up and Go. Play us out, buddy. Yeah. That is the coolest song.
That is the coolest
Wait, is
song.
it playing? Can you guys hear it?
Oh, no, I switched us.
Oh, great. No, we're
going back? Okay.
Yeah, it's back. It's back.
Very
Thank you
good.
so much for joining us today. It has been so much fun.
Might be too loud.
It's probably too loud. We are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific for community office hours. If you'd like to join the Descript community, find us on Discord, find us on Reddit, find us on Facebook, and we will love to connect with you. Anything else, Trevor?
We have some additional links that we can share. We have a few blog links to get more. Scan this QR code to get started, get in the app, and just get started making in Descript. What we showed was a 10-minute video, just a raw recording of someone explaining why they're not scared of sharks. Other Trevor, as we like to say. Maybe Trevor 1, I'm Trevor 2.
Sure.
I don't know. That's up for everyone else to decide. I can't make that decision. That with just a raw footage, you can really condense it and polish it in less than an hour. Get busy recording and get busy editing. I'm never saying that one again.
If you need a great video, it's Descript.
Descript. Wait, we didn't say it at the same time.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
It's Descript. If you need a great audio, it's Descript. If you need a great video, it's Descript. If you need a great audio, it's Descript. If you need a great video, it's Descript. If you need a great audio, it's Descript. If you need a great video,